Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tipsy Talks. I'm Kristen.
Leanne.
And we have an exciting episode today.
Yeah, super.
You're really hype about it. I love it. We're excited to be bringing you another episode. And let's just kick it off quickly with a little segment that's grown to be one of my faves because I just really like alcohol. So Leanne, what's in your cup today?
Oh, water. I feel like shit.
I mean, I support it. I get it. I totally get it. I am drinking a mango White Claw because I'm extremely basic. And, yeah. So today's episode, that was a quick little what's in your drink because we're not really getting crazy in this episode. We're going to keep it a little bit more serious this week. In this week's episode, we have another guest.
I just read my dad joke.
Oh, God. I mean, I support it.
Sorry, I shouldn't have opened it yet.
Did you pick it out already?
Yeah. Just by looking at it, I figured it out. Sorry, go.
God bless. So this week's episode, we have another guest with us, and she's on the line already. So I'm gonna do a little drum roll. Amelia, welcome to the episode.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We got a little cheering section going on. So before we jump into what this episode is about, how have y'all been handling the world lately?
I'm like, all of it's just so overwhelming for me. Like, I honestly, like, I don't even know. Like, how do you even, I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's my head.
I mean, I think that's everyone's head right now with the world and how things have been. I mean, we're still kind of in quarantine. I mean, I don't know how your states look, but I'm currently in the yellow phase in Philadelphia. PA is kind of all over the place, but Philly, we're in the yellow phase, which means I can kind of leave my house, kind of being the key word there.
Yeah, we're doing shit out here.
I mean, I'm in New York. I'm in New York, but we're kind of like in the hotbed of it all. So it's like a little like we're kind of farther behind than like most states, but we just hit phase 2 yesterday. So, which means like other stores can start opening, like you can start hanging out in small groups and things like that, which is a big step for New York.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Finding out what stage I'm in.
I feel like you're like way ahead of all of us.
No, I guess
way ahead.
I think we're just in phase 2.
Oh, well, all right. Well, then you're not that far ahead.
Yeah, because not all of our salons have opened yet. There's some outdoor dining. There's no indoor dining. Yeah, we just moved into phase 2 like 4 days ago.
Okay.
Potentially. I don't know, but all the Memorial Day stuff's gonna start popping up, and then 2 weeks from now, everybody that's been out going to the beach and everyone at all the protests and everything, that'll start picking up.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a spike again soon. Is my guess.
Oh, I'm hoping there isn't though, because I really want my summer plans to actually be able to happen.
Me freaking too.
It's been like everything's been canceled so far, so fingers
I've been
crossed.
Home from school since like early March, and
oh damn,
I have not. Well, I mean, I went to the store once last week, but that was the only time I've been out to do anything. So like, I literally have not left my house for 3 months, and I miss civilization.
Oh,
Kristen, you've left your house once, and it was to go to your sister's, right?
Yeah, I went to my my brother's house. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time I was out of the house since March as well. Like I've been working from home, all this stuff. So I mean, I was happy to do that. I'm leaving my house again this week to go to my sister's house. So it's not like I'm going anywhere significant.
Yeah.
Just to see family. But yeah, so the world's just a crazy place. And that's why we do these episodes, to kind of make sure all of our listeners can escape the crazy world. And we can escape the crazy world, because it's a lot better than having to deal with anything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, but today's episode, although we want you guys to escape, we're going to be talking about some heavy shit again. And we're super excited to have Amelia here. Just a little disclaimer, Amelia is not joining the What's in Your Cup segment because she's underage, and again, as you guys know from the last episode, we do not promote underage drinking, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But, you know,
I have a nice
from
bottle of water.
3.
Yeah, a bottle of water, that works. Yes, episode 3 we said that. But yeah, so today's episode we have a heavy topic to talk about, like we said, and we're going to talk a little bit about bullying, you know, online bullying, bullying in person, and how you can cope with it and all that stuff. So Amelia, let's talk a little bit about how we met first. I mean, social media is a blessing.
It is definitely a blessing.
Yeah, we met through social media. You listen to our podcast as well, so thanks for being a part of the audience. We appreciate you. And yeah, we all just kind of clicked, and then we had a bunch of conversations, and we figured that you would be a good fit for a guest on here to talk a little bit about this topic. So I'm gonna hand the mic over to you. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, and then, you know, talk to us about why you want to talk about bullying.
Okay, well, I'm 20. I'm from Long Island, and mainly I wanted to talk about this topic because I am someone who has been bullied like from a young age. So, I mean, everybody I think along the line in some sense has been bullied for one reason or the other, but I just wanted to discuss it because of everything like it means to me, and like just basically like tell like how it happened for me and things like that. So basically I wanted to mention like how it is like when we're younger. Like for me it started when I was at like a young age, because I have been like overweight my whole life, so that's been like one main thing that I've been bullied about, which I think is typical, especially for young kids who, you know, have a lot of questions about certain things. So, but yeah, I mean, like I know that I used to get made fun of for what I wore because I was always bigger than other kids. Like I would never fit into like the same stores as like younger girls. Like I was always a little bit ahead of everybody in that area. So I know that for kids who were the same age as me, it was a little bit weird to see somebody not wearing like the same exact clothes and things like that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm just going to interject because I have a lot of thoughts on bullying. Personally, I never like had to deal with super harsh bullying.
Yeah.
But I've seen, you know, my friends and everyone deal with it. And my thing is, I know when you're kids, like you don't get it. You don't understand like people's situations, their lives, like whatever. I understand that. But I feel like at a certain point, you kind of realize when something's wrong. You know, like when you say something, it's not right to say. And I don't know, I don't understand why people would like make fun of other people about like their clothing, their size, their looks. Like who the hell cares? It doesn't affect you. It doesn't do anything to harm you. You know, it has nothing to do with you. Why interject your 2 cents into it?
There's so many times when it's like kids trying to not, like they feel like they'll get made fun of if they don't join in making fun of other people.
Yeah.
Like I see that so many times. Like I think I've had like cousins where it's like maybe it wasn't my cousins, I forget, but I feel like I've seen kids where it's like they join in a bullying and I'm like, will you relax for 5 seconds? You don't have to join in on this, you little shits.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Exactly. But yeah, I just want to say that. Go ahead, continue.
Continue.
I also think that like bullying from like when we were a young age and like bullying now, like when as you're older, is such a different but way more drastic. I feel like when you're younger, like it's like little things, like could be clothing or like maybe something like I don't know that you did, but like now it's like I don't know, like it just seems to like kind of oh my god, what's the word? It's like it's so more unnecessary almost and bigger. Like they kind of just kind of go after you for things that are almost unnecessary.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. Yeah, you have a point there. When you are bullied or when you bully younger and when you're older, they're two totally different types. Like totally different types. And it's just I don't know.
I feel like
never
when
really
you're
thought
older,
of it that way.
When you're older, it's such like sly, passive aggressive bullying that you don't even realize it's bullying. You're like, oh, it's just jokes. Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, like it could start out as jokes, and then next thing you know, it's like backhanded compliments, and you're just kind of sitting there like,
yeah,
that should not be said. Like,
yeah, I think too. As adults, we kind of hide the word bullying behind the word judgment, like being judgmental. You're not being judgmental. You're being a bully, basically. And I mean, I'm guilty. I've been judgmental on many things.
I'm so
judgmental. I mean, I think everyone is.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a level of judgment that you reach where you actually start taking on the word bully fully instead of just the word judgmental.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was also thinking the other day, like, about the differences between what younger kids bully about and what older kids, maybe even adults, will nitpick you for. Like, how like I mentioned before, it could be clothing like when you're younger, but I feel like it could also be clothing when you're older. Like I know that a lot of people, like as they get older, they're more involved with like expensive clothing and things like that, and it's almost like if you're not wearing that, like are you even like, I don't know, like if you're like, are you even the same as me? Like I feel like some people almost feel that entitled that they need their friends to feel the same, like to be the same way.
Well, yeah, you get like bullied if they're like, you're in a knockoff. I'd be like, I didn't waste my money for something that could get the exact same thing cheaper.
I'm not even gonna lie to you though. Like I have glasses, like sunglasses. They're not even like, they literally say Ray-Ban on them, but like if you ask me how much they cost, they're not nearly as expensive as regular Ray-Bans.
Oh no,
like,
I got like $10 Ray-Bans in Mexico.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I got like $10 Dior's. Yeah. It doesn't matter. They look good. You couldn't really tell. Like my Dior's are so hefty they might have been stolen and I got them for $10. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like too, when it comes to designer stuff, it's an age thing. You know, I'm at the age now, like when I was in my like 20 to 21 phase, I was like, I want to have designer everything. When now at 25, I'm like, yo, I got this designer in quotes bag for like $5 and I'm happy about it. And I'm like showing it off. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an age thing too.
It's also who you're around so much. Like when I was at one of my jobs, there's so many people there that have like Gucci belts and all this stuff. And I'm like, shit, I wish I was making the money like they are to at least just have like that, like instead of my Target belt. It all just depends on where you are, who you're surrounded by, and everything like that. Because when I'm home, I'm like, I literally could care less. But when I'm out with like at work, and I'm like, well, I got my Target bag. What do you guys have? And they're like, Gucci. I'm like,
no, it's like at my school, it's like, I'm pretty sure we're a private school. I'm not sure if I remember. I might be completely wrong about that. But it's like when girls get dressed up to go out, it's like these girls come out dripping in like in expensive clothes, and I'm just sitting there in my Old Navy joggers, like just hanging out, and like I'm watching them all like get ready and go out, and I'm just like, really? Like I don't know, like of course they look good, like, you know, claps to that, but like in my head I'm like, okay, well, where can I get the cheapest jeans? You know, this outfit does not need to cost over $1,000 for me to enjoy myself. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I'm more of like, if I'm gonna buy anything designer or, you know, higher end, I want to buy it because I want it. I don't want to buy it because I want to know what someone in the club's gonna think of me because I walked in with a Gucci belt.
Yeah,
You know,
because
like
you're
I
never gonna
don't
see that
care.
person again. Who cares?
Exactly. Like I don't care.
And I'm also like, am I gonna use this once? Am I gonna use it more than one time? Like getting expensive shoes is like makes no sense to me because expensive shoes tend to not be that comfortable.
Right.
But like I better want to wear this thing more than twice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Completely.
And that's when,
that's why
like,
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like then that's when like I normally see like some people and they have like several different colors of certain things, and I'm always there like if I bought something, I would probably have to save up my money for who knows how long, and then like what happens like if I lose it, or, you know, like I don't understand how they can, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, when you're making your own money and you're not like making a lot of it and you have bills that you need to pay,
Yeah.
you ain't worried about that Gucci belt.
Not at
I'm worried
all.
about
Yeah,
making
facts.
sure my car bill is paid in
Yeah.
time.
I need my insurance, all my credit card bills need to be paid before
Yeah,
I get anything designer.
exactly. That's why when people bully over stuff like that, I'm like, you don't know the person's life.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, this person could be sitting on so much money and they're choosing wisely not to buy, you know, those Louis Vuittons that
I
they're
have
never
mad
gonna
respect
wear.
for those people. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, same.
The people who like have money but don't show it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't get the point. That's just a target to say like, hey, come rob me.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts.
If I had money, people would have no idea.
Oh, same. And like it's different for like celebrities and higher end people because they can hire security to watch out for them.
Yeah.
But like the people in Philly, and no shade to them if like any of them listen and they have money, but like if you have money and you're walking around with like your Gucci fanny pack, your like Louis wallet, and like all this stuff, you have like 17 different designers on you. That's just a target for someone to come.
I mean,
Literally.
Long Island is the exact same way though, because like I mean, pretty much everywhere you go, there's a beach. So, like, you know that there's houses on the water. You know that these people have good jobs because in order to live there, like, they need to have a decent amount of money. So, I mean, I feel like I'm not even going to apologize because I feel like all of my Long Island friends that are going to end up listening to this 100% know that I'm right. So,
bullying for like material stuff, I don't get that. I don't get bullying in general, but like when it comes over material stuff, I'm like, that's just you're just really insecure. You just want what that person has.
And it's like it just almost kind of forms cliques. Like I'm like proud to be in a sorority where like we strive on not having cliques. Like shout out to my sorority for that. But like I feel like it's so noticeable too. Like when you walk around like campus or even in high school, like you knew who was part of what clique. Like you knew who was part of what group because of like how they acted, who they were. And I'm not shading anybody whatsoever, but it's just, I mean, it's almost like everybody kind of knows that. Like that's high school, that's college. Like you see it.
Yeah.
You also, not being in a sorority ever, you always expect the sororities and fraternities to be the ones that are the most judgmental.
Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Before I went out for like recruitment and stuff, I always thought that like that's the way it was going to be because everyone seems so close knit, but like in reality it's the whole sorority and fraternity life that's like not a clique, but like they're a huge group. Like everybody kind of comes together, you go to each other's events, and it's like really fantastic because the support is everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the same way though. I wasn't in a sorority, and when I was in college, I kind of like had that thought that they were all going to be judgmental. And I have friends that were in sororities, and I mean, obviously, it's not true for every sorority, but that was a fear of mine too, because I was like, I don't want you to judge me just because I didn't join you, or like that's what my perception was of a lot of them. But then getting to know people who were in sororities like yours, who like they're not judgmental, they don't really care
No, not
about
at all.
like
None of
that
my
stuff.
sisters have a judgmental bone in their body. Like,
yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Philly's the same way though. We have like a lot of cliques. Growing up in like grade school and high school, there were just cliques of people, and I don't want to say they were judgmental, but like all of Philly is judgmental, so like I can't really say they're not either. So
yeah.
But yeah,
I've been there once, well, maybe more than once, but I don't know. My uncle lives like 40 some odd minutes outside of Philly, so like we went like I want to say like at least 5 years ago, but I didn't really like we were only, he lives outside, so like we didn't like stay in Philly, so like I wouldn't know, but like I just like I've only been there like once, so I don't really have much experience.
Oh, before last year I hated everything to do with Philly, and I have no shame whatsoever. I hated every ounce of anything involved with Philly.
Yeah, she did.
Never had good experience in Philly. I almost died twice when I went to Philly, and then last year I was just like, I'm gonna spend less money and go to play things in Philly. And then I fucking met her and whatever.
I mean, I'd like to say that I'm the
and
good
now
part
I want
of
to
Philly.
live in Old City, so here we go.
But Old City is like, that's a completely different spot.
Old City is very much like my town that I live in.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. If you look at Old City and then you put South Philly, which is where I'm from, next to each other. Oh,
they are next to each other.
No, I mean like if you put them like list pros and cons next to each other, they're two very, very, very different places.
I would say Old City is much like my small ass town.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Right on the water.
Mm-hmm. South Philly is very much like if you were born in South Philly, you either want to get out of here or you want to literally be buried under the cement up your street. Like that's how these people are here.
Well, they make enough holes there.
I mean, they do. They do.
That's why there's so many holes.
Yeah.
They're just burying people every day. Come to Philly to die.
I promise there are good points about us, but like it's the truth though, that you either want to stay here forever or you want to get out. There's no in between.
Where are you at?
I want to get out. I want to get out. My sister was listening to our episodes and she called me and she was
Hi, Melissa.
Yeah, hi Melissa, you're getting a shout out finally. My brother Matt got one. My sister got one. Let me just throw the whole family. Trish,
we bought Boss Babes.
Yes, Trish, shout out to you for buying that. Also, let's
Matt,
just
I'm
do
not
a little
offended.
quick.
You're the only one that isn't my friend on Facebook. I'm not offended.
My whole family's just gonna start friend requesting you now.
Everyone has except for Matt.
I'm gonna say to my family, thanks for listening. Y'all got a shout out now. You can all leave me alone. But yeah, my sister was listening to this and she was literally like, you don't sound like you're from South Philly. I'm the only one in the family that doesn't have an accent like people from Philly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do I sound like I'm from New York?
No. I don't think so.
I mean, my dad really does. Like the way my dad talks, because he's lived like in Queens, like all over Long Island, that kind of thing. And like you'll hear it in my dad for sure. But like for me, I don't feel like, I mean, it depends on who I'm talking to, I guess. But like, I don't feel like you'd be able to tell.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can tell at all, to be honest with you. But I'm the same way. Like if I'm talking to people from South Philly, like if I see someone from high school on the street, my accent comes back. Like it's just the way it is. And when I'm in work, I have a super professional like tone like this. So, but I'm one of those people that doesn't want to stay in South Philly. So I'm okay with my accent being gone. Like totally cool with it. Like y'all, you can literally never come back and I'm fine with it. I still love where I'm from, but I know what's going on here and I don't think it's safe to stay. But that's a conversation for another day.
I'm a parrot with accents. I don't think I've like whatever accent I'm around.
You do.
That's actually such a valid point though. Like sometimes I feel like I'll be like talking to somebody who has an accent and then all of a sudden my like speaking starts to form into the way they're speaking.
Yeah.
Like all the time, and I'll have to be like, I'm like really self-conscious about it too, because they'll like call me out on it, and I'll just be like, sorry, like didn't mean to do that to you. But
I'll be on the phone with my friend that lives in Georgia and just have the thickest Georgian accent, like Southern accent. I could be on the phone with one of our family friends from Canada for just like 5 seconds, and I'll already start with his accent. Like, we were up in Canada, like my accent was full on Canadian the entire time that we were there. And yeah, I can hear the hints of your accents just because I'm so like, my brain just like hears that shit. Like, I always make fun of Kristen. Like, I'll always be like, oh yeah, what's that word that you just said there? Like, sorry, what is that? Why is that plural? I didn't know that word was plural.
We strayed really, really far from the topic
what the
that
hell
we were talking about.
Let's go to social media.
Speaking of one of the biggest platforms for bullying, unfortunately, is social media, because we live in a world where people can't go without it for literally 5 seconds. So why don't we talk a little bit about how much social media has influenced, bullying and the way that it's done now?
I honestly think bullying is 100 times worse with social media. Bullying itself, like in person, can't really get that far unless you're with the person who is bullying you or the person you are bullying. So it really can only happen like at certain times. But with social media, it could happen anytime, anywhere, any place. Like it doesn't matter. Like you can literally use any platform to like hurt somebody and like do whatever you want like through there. So I think for sure it's much worse now that social media is a huge thing.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. Like you said, it happens so quickly when it comes to social media, mainly because we have everything literally in the palm of our hands.
Yeah.
Like, you can check every platform that you have a profile on within the next 5 minutes, and you can get all of that information. I think the problem too with social media is that you have keyboard warriors who, like, people who would never say this stuff to your face just start spreading all this stuff about you on social media, and it gets to you quicker and it gets to more people quicker because of that. Whereas bullying face to face, I mean, you have people that bully face to face, but it's rare now. I mean, people are afraid to do it.
Yeah,
they're better off behind a screen.
Yeah, and I feel like nowadays that bullying has been out there more. There's way more bystanders that are willing to stick up for other people, especially when it happens in person.
Yeah.
But now that like social media is a thing, there's so many ways that you can pretend to be other people. You can just hide yourself behind a screen and have nobody really know who you are, and you can just kind of just really get to somebody very easily that way.
Yeah, social media is definitely, I don't know, I love it, but it's just really, it's not safe sometimes.
I like to call it a blessing and a curse.
Oh, for sure.
Because there is so many reasons why it's amazing. Like, I can't even tell you how many friends I'm able to keep in touch with because of it, and how many people I've like actually, like, especially you guys, like people I've met over social media that I've become really good friends with, that kind of thing. But I mean, there's also that other side where it can really torment somebody, especially when like I hate to be this person, but like sometimes parents or like adults that aren't really in the same generation don't really get it. Almost where like you could try to tell them like what's going on, but it's going to take a lot more for them to understand what's happening to you. And I feel like that's kind of where there's like a disconnect, because I feel like a lot of kids want to tell their parents if they're being cyberbullied, but they're like fearful that their parents will understand.
Yeah. And I think too, going along with the generational idea, the thing is, when it came to bullying, like way back, parents would be like, just fight back a lot of times.
Or ignore.
Yeah. But now when it comes to social media, it's easier for parents to fight back for their kids. I've seen parents like go at other kids for
my mom has
bullying.
done that.
Yeah, and it's like it's become a huge thing on social media. First of all, I mean, social media is just the biggest portal for everyone to throw their opinions at, which is what the purpose of it is. I get that. But yeah, you have adults that will just throw, and sometimes they won't even just be bullying the bully, they'll be bullying just people in general just to do it.
Yeah, they just get like excitement out of just being a dick.
Yeah, it's like those people that like, and I'm one of them, I'll sit there and like read a Facebook fight in the comments. Yeah. I love it. I love reading it. But sometimes when it gets to a certain point, then I'm like, all right, now you're being a little ridiculous, a little rude, it's unnecessary.
And people like to nitpick every little thing too. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, you could say something wrong and not mean it that way, but somebody will like go after you for saying it that
like,
way.
Especially if your grammar's wrong. Oh, the people that will
that ruins it so fast.
It ruins it so fast, but like people will stop bullying you for whatever they were originally bullying you on just to like dig at you for your grammar.
Exactly. Did you go to school? No.
Yeah. Exactly. It's awful. Oh man, yeah. Social media, like you said, is definitely a blessing and a curse. And the one thing that you mentioned was like fake profiles. And I saw that happening a lot in like school and like high schools. Even in college I saw it with like Yik Yak.
People.
Do you remember Yik Yak? Oh my god, you were
I feel like I remember that.
What is that?
Yik Yak was an app that it was completely anonymous, and it was literally just a thread, and it would only go by your location. So when I was on LaSalle's campus, I can only pick up the people that were in my radius, and you can post whatever you wanted anonymously, and people either like it or like, I don't know if you can reply to it, but I know you can like it, and it would push it to the top of the feed. So that was like a big social media platform for people to make fun of other people.
Never heard of it.
Mad. And I would sit in my classes, it was mainly my freshman year, and like read through Yik Yak to see if anyone was making comments about me on there, because like you didn't know these people. So I could have walked into one of my halls to go to class, and they could have been like, oh, girl in the red shirt and like flip-flops, blah blah blah. Like they could have said whatever about me, like, and I would never know.
Like, if that were I was like actually like religiously on that app, I feel like I would have actually gone insane.
Oh, I did. I was going absolutely insane. But then I found like one person had like a full love story on Yik Yak, and they were like this girl with whatever color hair. They were looking for them in some building, and like people were trying to help this person. That was cute. That was like the Snapchat thing that happened a few years ago. That was cute. But like when I was sitting in my class, I was like, listen, the whole app was like a ridiculous idea, but it made it such an easy way to bully people that you didn't even know for no reason. Like, you could have seen this person for 5 seconds walking past you, and you could have made fun of them by just posting it on this app. And if people thought it was funny, it would be pushed to the top. And, you know, if they saw the red girl, the girl with the red shirt and the flip-flops, hey, they'd post another thing about you. That's why I was on it constantly checking, because I'm like, I need to make sure no one's talking about me.
Like, literally the worst thing about bullying and cyberbullying in general is that nobody knows you as a person. Like, they all go off these preconceived notions about how you are as a person, but, you know, they'll, like, take that and run, but, like, they don't know you. They don't know what you're like. They don't know if you're a cool person. Like, for all they know, you could literally be, like, one of the most bomb-ass people, like, to know, and, like, they'll just be making fun of you off of one thing that they saw or one thing that they heard, and they don't even know anything.
Exactly. That's why it's like social media bullying, and I'm not saying bullying is right, because I don't condone it at all, but like social media bullying is literally like such a cop-out. Like, you don't know that person at all,
especially if you're anonymous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you don't have a real reason. Usually bullying, when it happened face to face, most of the time people had reasons. They either just didn't like you and wanted to make your life a living hell, or, you know, they really had beef with you. But like social media, you can literally pick any random person.
Yeah,
and just be like, I don't like your profile picture.
Yeah, and they're like, they can be anonymous, so it's like they can literally attack you for every little thing and not have to say it to your face, which I think people who do that are straight up chicken shits, because you can't say it to my face, I don't want to hear it. Like,
exactly.
The only people feel so powerful behind a screen. The only reason why you're saying shit about me or trying to make me feel bad or guilty or whatever, is because you're by yourself behind that screen, and because of that you feel powerful.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel powerful with that though. I judge people. I am a judgmental person sometimes, but I've never sat there and like wrote about anyone on social media or ever like tried to bully anyone, but I can't see how someone would feel powerful with that. Like, I don't know,
like
maybe
you get power within like the moment, but then like what do you have after that? Like, hey, look at this message I sent to someone that I don't know.
Right?
Honestly, it makes people look so stupid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you can, like, if you're somebody who cyberbullies people like all the time, I don't know how you can feel proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to show for yourself? The fact that you sat behind a screen and just like bullied somebody. Like, what did you get out of that is my question.
And the thing too with cyberbullying is that it never goes away. Like, when you put stuff on the internet,
that have lost their jobs because of like old cyberbullying and stuff that people found and can link you back to.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, you can even just look at like celebrities and stuff when they've ever tweeted anything that was, you know, wrong. It comes back to haunt them like years later.
Kevin Hart tweeted something like way back, maybe 2011, that caused him to not be able to, that caused him to withdraw him from hosting the Oscars.
I think I remember
exactly.
That.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing too that I don't get when it comes to cyberbullying. Again, I don't get the concept of bullying in general, but cyberbullying, like that stuff, it literally stays on the internet forever. Like, you can delete it from your profile, but that does not mean it's gone. And people,
you don't know who screenshotted it.
Exactly.
Oh,
like whether you had it up for a second or like 10 months, like that's always going to be there. So I never understood why people would still do it. And then like, oh, it wasn't me. I hear a lot of people say like, oh, that wasn't me doing it, I was hacked. Oh, you were hacked and they just wanted to send this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they like repeatedly said it.
Yeah. What do you think are some things that like future generations could do about it? Like to stop it, prevent it, or just anything like that?
I think being an advocate, number one, because obviously I feel like everybody at some point or another knows how it feels to get bullied, and you honestly feel like shit. It doesn't make anybody feel good no matter what it's about.
Yeah.
So being somebody who like stands up for somebody who's been through it or like can speak from experience, I think can really help people in the future. And maybe just not taking what people say to heart. And I know that's easier said than done, especially for people like me, but a lot of time people who don't know you can say whatever they want about you and not feel guilty, but like, you know who you really are. Your friends know who you really are. If they're saying things that hurt you, obviously what they're saying is not true because you don't like that they're saying that about you. You know, so at the same time you have to make sure that you're not letting it bother you in that way.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice for people of younger generation, especially because they're only going to grow up knowing cyberbullying probably. Like, they're never going to have that face-to-face bullying. And I think cyberbullying can be a little bit harder to deal with because of the fact that it could be there forever and it can, you know, be completely anonymous.
So fast too.
And you have the ability to do that. Yeah, and then there's a time where it's like you don't, for all you know, it could be like who you think is your best friend is sending these messages.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like, that's going to make kids not trust anybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how do you cope with all this, any type of bullying? How have you risen above it, and what kind of would be your advice to anyone dealing with bullying, and how to just not really move on from it, but kind of grow from it?
Yeah.
Like I said before, I think the best thing to do is to like know who you are. Like, obviously, like I said before, if it's bothering you, it's most likely not true. I know that like for me, the best thing for me to do is to sometimes just take either like completely remove myself from the situation and let it do what it wants to do, or tell somebody and get it figured out. I know that sometimes it's not easy to get like, I mean, it sounds like it should be easy where we are technologically like now, but sometimes it doesn't always, like, you need a certain amount of proof or an IP address or whatever to find who's doing it. So sometimes it can get a little iffy there. But I think for me, the best thing I've done is kind of just subtract myself from the situation and just kind of live my life. Like, I shouldn't really be letting other people's comments bother me. Like, I will go outside and do something with my neighbors, or I will like call a friend and do something with them instead, just something to get my mind off of it. And the next thing I know, it's not even bothering me. Like, it will take a couple days, but I know that, like, at the end of the day, like, it'll pass. Like, it's not something to be, that worried about, basically.
Yeah. And I think too, a big piece of advice that I would say, because I just recently did this, is to completely do a social media cleanse. And there's nothing wrong with
not at all
literally deleting the apps from your phone, not seeing it for a while, because the problem is, I mean, especially with younger generations, they literally live through social media. Like, everything
they
do
have a heart
has
attack if anything happens to it.
Exactly. Like, everything has to go by, social media standards. And my one thing is, take a step back from it, because it will do you wonders. You might think it won't. You might think that you absolutely need it, but I took a cleanse for a couple days and I literally felt like, a completely new person, and I wasn't even going through anything like that. I just mentally needed to get away from it. So for those who are dealing with some bullying, take a step back. There's nothing, you don't have to delete your profile, just like delete it off your phone for a few days. Live life.
You're not required to be on social media, so it's okay if you're not on it.
I literally spent the other day, last week, sitting at my kitchen table in complete silence, no TV on, nothing on, didn't talk to a single soul all day. Kristen can even vouch for that, because I did not speak to her at all until like 9 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. And I just sat and I literally played solitaire with actual cards and just like did not touch any electronics all day.
Yeah. It does wonders, man, for your mind.
No, and then I was like perfectly fine and amped on life the next day.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, like, there are people in your life that do care about you and would never say these things to you. 100%. So go and spend time with them. And I know it's a little hard right now, but with like quarantine and like the world how it is, but I took time being with my family. I took time, like, I still was talking to my friends, but I wasn't attached to my phone. Like, I didn't give my phone my entire attention, and I felt so much better about myself. So go be with people who love you, who care about you, who would never hurt you in this way, because you're going to realize the things that are being said to you, like you said, they don't matter. They don't define who you are. The people who care about you, the people who want to be in your life, that's who matters, and that's who, will help hype you up. Sometimes we just need a little hype man when shit like that happens.
Yeah. I honestly feel like something that actually helps me too. I mean, this only works if you're old enough to drive, which I'm pretty sure everybody listening to this is probably old enough to drive, but
if you can't drive and you're listening to this, go away, because I don't have a great language.
No, you should not be listening to this.
But I mainly feel like sometimes for me, like, even if it's just like my parents that are bugging me or for something, but I feel like I just like to like get in my car, like have a little route that I go on, and then like listen to some good music, and sometimes that itself is enough to clear my head.
Yeah, definitely. You just need a break.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do, and sometimes breaks are a good thing. And another thing is that I want to say, don't be afraid to tell someone. Even if you don't think they're going to believe you, still tell them. Like, people need to be aware that this is happening, and people need to be able to help you figure out how to either get it to stop, how to get these people, how to catch these people, because some bullying can be really, really extensive to the point where it could harm someone so much that they might, want to hurt themselves or hurt other people. Yeah. So if you feel like you're in a situation like that, or someone in a situation like that, please don't be afraid to speak up. And like, if you're listening to this, literally, you can DM me or DM Leanne or
100%.
DM Amelia. Like, we will listen. We will tell someone for you, or if you even don't want us to tell anyone, we'll just let you vent. Like, that's what we're here for. We don't mind.
That's what our submissions are for on our website.
Yes. Link is on our Instagram. Go submit some stuff to us. Your stories, your questions, whatever you want to tell us, go there.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's some good advice from all three of us as we plug ourselves in there.
Agree.
Oh,
no,
man.
for real though, if you do want to talk to somebody, if you just want to let it vent it out, even send it to us and just put it in there like, hey, I don't want this to go on the website. The link is on our Instagram, which our Instagram is at Tipsy Talks Podcast. And all of our links are on there, and you'll be able to find Amelia on there when we post this. We have her little special card in the story.
Yes.
And then it'll be in the highlights of the stories.
Yeah, reach out to us. But one thing I do want to say though, if you're like really being bullied and it's to the point where you feel like you need to get professional help with it, you can reach out to us, yes, but please reach out to someone that can actually help you within seconds, because if we're not in your area, we're not professionals. We can't do that. We'll listen to you, but please reach out to whoever you need professionally.
No shame in a therapist.
Absolutely not.
I loved having a therapist.
Yeah, no shame at all.
I just can't afford it right now. But get a therapist.
Yeah. Oh God, mental health's important.
Mental health is so important. Please go listen to episode 4.
Yes, episode 4 we'll talk all about why it's so important.
I'm sure it's a great episode. We just haven't filmed it yet.
Well, it's fine.
Oh, we're in the future. So I found these little cards I actually feel like is a great thing. I didn't even realize they were sitting on the kitchen table. Mm-hmm. And it was something of my sister's, I think, that we found in a box in the garage. But it's 52 silly things to do when you're blue. Oh, so I thought it was funny. Cute. So let's see what one is.
Oh, I love that.
All right, let's shuffle it. Let's
read 3 of them.
Let's go tarot card shuffle. Let's see the 3 that fly out. Got one. If you listen to episode 3, we talk about numerology and tarot and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, one more.
I'm excited to see this. I'm gonna take this advice.
Right? Okay, so here we go. So we've got the first one that fly is funny photos. So it's dig out those envelopes of trip photos you haven't put in an album yet and create an adventure scrapbook. Another one is matinee movie. Pull the movie listens out of the paper. You can tell how old this is. And see what matinees are playing. This is a particularly good idea if it means procrastinating on a postponable chore. Work through lunch so you can escape from the office for a little,
School.
And then Festival of Animation. Rent the animated movie you loved best as a child. Libraries often have classics. And have an animated movie festival. Invite friends to bring your favorites. Serve popcorn and your favorite childhood snacks.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, guys listening, go do these things if you're feeling blue.
I'm going to add this to everything.
Yeah.
Every episode, let's pull some. I like this. New Tipsy Talks tradition. Sick. Okay.
We have so many traditions for this podcast.
I know. I'm going to start adding it in there.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think this was a really good episode, though. Very informative. Amelia, we appreciate hearing your story and you sharing it with everyone. Yeah,
thank you for wanting to come on and being open to talking about it all with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And like we said, on our Instagram, there will be a little meet our guest card where we'll have some fun facts about Amelia and her Instagram. If you guys want to go follow her, we recommend doing so. And, you know, if you want to talk to her about more of her story, I'm sure she'll be willing to talk to you guys.
Definitely.
All right, I think we should get to the big moment of the podcast. Leanne's fave.
I don't remember the tune that you liked last time.
Neither do I, to be honest with you. It's fine. It never stays the same anyway. This is the Tipsy Talks way.
Dad jokes with Lee and okay.
Wow, that was new. I love it.
Yeah, here we go. So I used to be in a band called The Hinges. We opened for the Doors.
I think that was one of your better ones. Oh, I love it.
I quite love that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Amelia again for being a part of this episode.
Thank you.
If you guys want to go follow us, Instagram is @Tipsy Talks Podcast. Twitter @Tipsy Talks Pod. We don't really ever go on there. Sorry,
Never.
but you know. Our personals are on our podcast Instagram. Can't talk today apparently. And go check out our website. The link is on our Instagram. Again, submit your
Christy
stories.
made a bomb website, so go visit it and subscribe to it because that's apparently a thing you can do.
Yeah, I can't promise you we'll send you emails, but you never know. Who knows? Maybe one day.
And please like, share, do everything to anything that we do.
Yeah, go like us on Facebook.
Oh shit!
We made a Facebook page.
We did a Facebook page thing. Yeah, go do all the things to all the websites.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
You. Thanks so much. I like you a lot. Bye.
Bye.